point to Alexis Sanchez sending off, and you say if they had 11 men, it would be a very different game. But you think for 60 minutes at Anfield and for 90 minutes in Italy, they never really tested that Liverpool defence.
That's the worry, and that's what Gab's saying, Dan. You know, you analyse what Inter have got and you analyse what Liverpool have got. And Liverpool are a better side. They've got better individuals at top end of the pitch. You know, they all walk into Inter's side. There was points in the game where you're watching Inter Milan and you're thinking, go on, then can you? And then the boys are right. There was a through ball played to Lautaro Martinez. He was level with Virgil van Dijk. He fancied the foot race. Van Dijk went into second or third gear, burnt him off, and then never seen Lautaro Martinez again until his goal. So there's work for Inter, but I think when Inzaghi analyses the game, away at Anfield, the shift that the players put in, and again, I'm not being patronising, they can come away from that game Inter thinking, we've done well there.
You know, somebody starts with, I'm not being patronising.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that.
You don't want to hear that.
No.
I'm not.
Well, we just sat here and said that over 2 games, they haven't really troubled Liverpool. I don't wish to be harsh on Inter, but at no stage ever in these 2 games was I in any way, shape or form worried. Not at all. So, listen, you can try and figure out how great or how fantastic Inter have done over the 2 legs where they kept it tight and then they were back in it, and if they hadn't had a red card, well, guess what? They probably should have had a red card earlier because he shouldn't have been on the field when he got his second yellow. So I don't wish to be harsh, but I never once ever thought this was going to go any other way than Liverpool's way.
Robbo?
Well, I agree. The 1 and 2 touches in midfield was good. The playing out from the back was good. But when you look at the front players, over the 2 games, Dzeko was never going to run behind in the first game. He was never going to get on the end of crosses because Inter didn't get high enough at times. Only Perisic was the player that looked as though he was going to get crosses into the box. And today I presumed he played Sanchez and Martinez to run in behind and to link up as a pair. They did that to a certain degree, but there was no threat in behind. And that allows Liverpool, I thought, to play at 80%. And throughout the 2 games, Inter have played at 100%. That's why they had to slide into tackles and make last-ditch tackles. Liverpool could play within themselves, probably at 80%, and they were still just too good for Inter.
Go on, Gab.
No, I just want to say, like, this is Liverpool coming to this game on the back of 12 consecutive wins. As I've said in other shows, I don't think Liverpool have been anywhere near 100%, except perhaps for the League Cup final against Chelsea. In most of those games, they gave up chances to West Ham, they gave up chances to Burnley, they gave up chances to Leicester. This has been the story of Liverpool. You can look at this and say, well, that's great. You know, they're tired, they're being savvy, they're managing themselves, they're winning ugly, and it takes that if you're going to hang in there until the very end, and that's fantastic. But as Robbo said, despite all this from Liverpool, and I didn't think Liverpool were necessarily great tonight either, you know, over the 2 legs, it took Inter at full tilt, albeit Inter at full tilt without their best player, and tonight obviously without, this was by choice obviously, without Edin Dzeko, and without the possibility of Dzeko, you know, perhaps coming on and Inter doing something different because they went down to 10 men.
So, Inter out, Liverpool through to the quarter-finals. Of course, they are very much in the conversation to go all the way and win the title. Manchester City favourites as it stands. Robert, what's more likely? They win the Premier League or the Champions League?
I don't think they're going to win the Premier League. I think Man City are going to win the Premier League. I think they've got more chance of the Champions League, depending, you know, who they get and how they keep players fit. But I don't think they're going to catch Man City. They've got every chance in the Champions League. They didn't play at their very best over the last 2 games, but they've still got a good squad. They've got some exciting players going forward, and they will be a threat.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do agree with Gab in saying that Liverpool have not been at their best all the way through this run.
Right.
But I would suggest that the fact that they haven't been at their best and they've won 12 straight should be a worry for everybody else. Because with the talent they have and the squad they have and the players they have, my goodness, somebody's in for it. Somebody's in trouble. Somebody's in trouble when they do start playing. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm probably with Robbo as well. I think the Champions League is probably just ahead of the Premier League. But yeah, I don't want to play Liverpool, put it that way. I don't want nothing to do with them.
Just one more thing on the game. Was the sending off correct in your opinion, Gab?
I think with the way the rules are now, yes. I think he got the ball, but you have to know that if you get the ball in that way, you're not going to have time to bring your studs down, and you will get a second booking. Simple as. Maybe the boys in the studio are going to tell me, well, in my day, that wouldn't have been a foul or whatever. Maybe it's true, but, it's 2022. He should have known better.
Don?
Same. You can't make that tackle on the yellow card, Dan. I mean, he was lucky to stay on the pitch for the tackle earlier on in the game on Thiago. And then once you commit a bad one, there must be something in your brain if you're Alexis Sanchez where you think, I've got away with one. I mean, that pitch is horrendous. I mean, that's a red card all day long. And you get away with that one, then surely you've got to be clever enough to say, I'm not going to go in for any little 50-50s. Even though you want to try and be competitive in the game, you don't want to duck out of a tackle, you cannot make that tackle whatsoever when you're on a yellow card.
Mr. Robson.
Yeah, I mean, he should have been sent off in the first half. It was a poor challenge. The second one, I think it's difficult for him to stop. But as the guy said, he lunged into so many challenges in exactly the same way. And as soon as he was going to catch Fabinho, you knew he was going to get a yellow card. So he had to go.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.